When you're blue and kinda lonely too, you'll find a smile will go a long, long way. Though you're down, don't sit around and frown. A little smile will go a long, long way. Never grieve, just try to make believe the sky is blue, although you know it's gray. Don't you find it's just a waste of time? You'll find a smile will go a long, long way.
Welcome into another rousing adventure. It's called Ron and Jen's Great Escape. And, you know, I've decided, because we're big advocates of less is more when it comes to just about everything in life, including government, which we'll get into at another time, I'm sure. But I've decided that the mission statement, the description of this fine podcast, I'm going to squish it down to this. It's kind of corny, but it's fast, you know, and you know, it's here and it's mellow.
Yeah, it's mellow.
And it's to be determined whether or not it's hotter than the lid of a potbelly stove, but we're going to leave that up to those folks out there. Thank you. How about this? It's our attempt to turn the news frown upside down.
Well, okay.
It's corny, but...
No, I mean, you know, I like it because it's short and sweet, and that's...
Just like me.
Yeah, well, isn't that...
Well, half of it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd go to sweet. Right. I'd say, you know...
Short, definitely short.
Yeah, definitely short.
Definitely short. Hey, look who's back in the news, the Moops. Oh, no, the Moors.
The Moops.
The Moors. The Moors. The Moors, the merrier. Not necessarily so, huh?
Apparently... Wait, the Moors. Hang on, refresh... Because we just said how people don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
The rise of the Moors.
These are the guys on the side of the highway.
Right, the
with their okay, all right. They were gassing up, and they didn't want to be seen. They were incognito on the side of the highway.
They don't think that the law applies to them.
Yeah, oh, okay.
So they're processing this whole nonsense, and the prosecutor in The Rise of the Moors. Doesn't that sound like a bad AMC movie?
Yeah, it does.
The Rise of the Moors.
Every time I see that, the headline.
Followed by Sharknado. The Rise of
I
the
never
Moors.
saw those movies.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're just the sharks are in the air, and it's
They're
all
everywhere.
these B-list actors.
It's C-list.
D-list,
Are you
whatever.
kidding me? C-lists. The prosecutor in The Rise of the Moors, that case has been granted a delay until September the 8th. So the Moors are on the back burner.
Then they're in jail, so they're not. Are they out with ankle bracelets, or are they all?
You're asking me a question I can't answer.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean
do not
to do that.
know.
See, he used to get mad when I did that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, do you still get mad?
Yes.
Oh.
The defendants were detained way back on July 3rd. This happened.
I know.
We're still waiting.
Listen.
Yeah.
Time flies.
So when we're having fun, time flies when the Moors are rising.
Yeah. Well, hey. By the way, so if you, not that you care, but someone will ask eventually. This is Chester on my T-shirt. Chester. He was a sock puppet in a show called Syphil and Ollie. If you've ever seen it or remember that.
Syphilis and
Not Syphil.
Oh.
Syphil, S-I-F-L, and Ollie. And it was a great show on MTV in the 90s.
They were puppets?
Yeah, well, late 90s, early 2000s. Hilarious. Well, you wouldn't think it's hilarious. Just stupid.
Not like those
Little sock puppets.
Not like those creepy H.R. Puffin stuff creations. Those nasty things.
No, not like that.
No, those things.
And the New Zoo Review and all that.
Those things
Freddie
are-
the Frog.
Yeah.
No, so that's Chester,
All
by
right,
the way.
Chester from Syphilis and what?
Syphil and Ollie.
Oh, Syphil and okay, all right.
Yeah, that would have
You
been
know,
quite a show. Syphilis and Ollie.
I should have challenged you in the last podcast when we were doing our food segment. We talked about how school lunches, a lot of the staples of school lunches are going south because they don't have enough people, they don't have enough cooks, but also because...
Do I have enough lunch ladies?
No.
Come on.
And they don't have enough supplies either. So supplies and demand. So chicken nuggets are in short supply. Burgers are in short supply. However, corn dogs, too, are in short supply. And I asked you in the last podcast if you ever had a corn dog.
Never.
And you said no.
Not once ever.
You're wrong.
Why?
Because you shared one with me at the Washington County Fair.
Are you sure I ate it?
You just took a bite, and I think you
Well,
might have just gone, "Pachoo," but yeah,
Really?
I remember.
Well,
yeah,
oops.
yeah, because we shot video of it, and we were sitting next to a guy while we were sampling it, and you held the camera on him for his reaction. I remember, we went to the Washington County Fair and took a whole bunch of video.
Okay, if you say it's true, then
it's true.
I will go with
It's true.
that.
And we strolled around and we saw all the aminals.
Yeah, I love that.
and a big
It's back
cow.
on this week.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Oh, okay.
It is back on.
I saw the big billboard on 95. So exciting.
The smell of hay and animals and poop
And dung.
and dung, manure,
Dung.
all kind of going. They got animal and vegetable judging, all kinds of stuff. Turkey legs, corn dogs, fried doughboys. Oh my!
I love that place, the
Yep.
Washington County Fair. It's fun. It is.
It's different.
Yeah, well,
It's
yeah.
different.
I mean, it's hokey. It's something that you would go to if you were in the sticks in the mountains somewhere, and they have, they have the 4-H out
Yep,
there
yep.
contests, and they have the hog contests, and the greased up watermelon contest, and they all get in the mud. I mean, it's that kind of thing. It's awesome.
Do they do an oxen pull? I'm not sure.
I
if they
don't
do or not.
remember if they do that.
But we had video. You and I were petting a cow. I
And
remember that.
chickens. I still have video of the chicken. I still have video from it. Do you want me to put it on our Facebook page?
Sure.
I have old video. And then we did Games of Chance.
That's right.
We did, and you were in the background saying, "What did you win with Games of Chance?" And I had short blonde hair at the time. I had shaved it all off, and it was growing out.
Oh, I thought that was me with the short blonde.
No, that was me, and I wanted a big toy, and I didn't win. I won a cheap little
You
thing.
got enough toys, right?
Yeah,
Look
I
at,
know.
Look at behind you.
I know.
You got
Yeah, look
shelves.
at the
full
champagne
of toys.
bottles on that top shelf.
Now, those are the Super Bowl
Hey.
wins. Those are 3 of the Super Bowl wins for
Yeah.
the Patriots. On the other side, which is out of the camera reach, are the champagne bottles for the Red Sox World Series.
Yeah, well,
I don't have one.
don't buy one for this year, pal.
I ain't got nothing chilling
Yeah,
right now.
I don't think you should.
I'll tell you that. Hey, we might be looking at a beautiful meteor shower coming up this week, Thursday and Friday, supposedly. Now, whether or not the sky's going to cooperate, because it's been such a crappy summer, huh? It really has.
I'm not gonna lie, Ronzo. This is my kind of summer where it's gray and rainy, and you don't feel guilty staying indoors all the time, and it's not. The heat has been. We've had this. About to have another heat wave this week, and we've only had. This is really the third one, and then boom, back to school. Summer's over.
Having a heat wave.
Yes.
And the definition is
Yes.
of the heat wave 3 consecutive
yes.
days of over 90 degrees with hideous humidity. So you
Not
gotta
in Chez St. Pierre, though.
no, nice and cool in here.
Sure
but
is.
we will give out and we will issue a frizzy hair alert for the rest of this week. It's supposed to break on Saturday and Sunday. A cold front moving in. So there you go. I just did my Tony Petrarca impersonation.
That's
but
good
anyway,
stuff.
this beautiful. I don't. I've done this story 1,000 times about this
Sharks?
this particular kind of meteor shower. It's PERSEID, and I never know how to pronounce it correctly.
Perseid?
Perseid,
It
I
might
would
be
imagine.
Perseid.
Let's call it Perseid,
I'll go with that.
but that's why I always just say meteor shower.
Yeah, but just blame me.
Okay.
Jen said it's Perseid, that idiot.
I will blame you. No, I would never say
What?
that.
You
That's-
sure you would?
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, it's fine.
I would never say
Listen,
that.
I am an idiot sometimes. I take that.
Remember we used to do Who Wants to Be an Idiot? We
Yeah.
used to do that. Yeah, Bill Hadman, a big fan of that.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
Yes.
Old Billy Bill.
The other day when I filled in on WPRO, I caught up with Habby, and he said, "Are you going to do Who Wants to Be an Idiot?" And I'm like, I don't think I have the license to do that right now. So,
Wow.
so anyway.
And you'll be on again on
Yes.
August 17th
Yeah, the 17th. I'm
from
on
9 till 12.
9 till 12
See how I
noon.
know that?
Be there, aloha.
Yeah, call him.
Be there, aloha. I promise it'll be hot.
It'll be as hot as
Lid of
hotter than a lid of a potbelly stove.
Anyway, we digress. We move on. That's all I got in a snapshot for what's
Really?
going on around us in the news. There's not a lot of good news to talk about.
well,
I only
no,
want
I
to talk
know.
about good stuff. I only want to talk about good stuff on
Really?
this podcast for the most part.
Oh, on the podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because
the
when we
podcast.
talk, on the down low, we talk about all the crap going on behind the scenes.
See, you just threw one out there.
Yeah.
When we talk on the quote down low,
Yeah.
all these sayings,
Oh, boy.
right? All these different
Yeah.
sayings that
Yeah.
people have.
Well, that's a
you know.
young kid saying.
No, not necessarily. That's been around for a long time.
Really?
Raining cats and dogs, stuff like that. He's 3 sheets to the wind.
Well, how about this new one? I got heated. That's what the young people say when they get mad.
Oh, did Alorza get heated?
Alorza got heated.
With McKee.
That's what that was. So, yeah, there's all kinds of new little sayings. I'm learning because I live with the millennial.
Okay. That's,
Yeah. She
what-
comes home from work. She complains and then goes to sleep. And then I don't see her until the next day.
And then when she complains again.
That's right. So I'm learning a lot.
So these old sayings, we're going to get into these things
Oh, yeah.
coming up in a little bit. Not now, because
Oh.
you're going to do Jen's news
Yes.
first. But I just wanted to tease that.
Yeah.
We say these things and we don't even know why we say them.
Yeah,
So
I
what's
know.
the origin of some of this stuff? And does it still make sense to you once you learn the origin for you to use it in common parlance?
Well, I thought you were going to say, we say these things and then we never get to it because we forget. Because we'll say, oh, yeah, we'll get to that next. And
No, we
then
won't.
And then this podcast is, I'm driving home and I think, oh God,
we forgot to do that.
We forgot to do it. But what we never forget to do is America's favorite segment.
That's true.
Because it's Jen's News, and it is met with all kinds of award-winning news information brought to you by me, Jen.
Giddy up.
That's why it's called Jen's News. And here we go. It's time for America's favorite segment. Shout out to Mark in California. It's time for Jen's News.
You got Superman going around the Daily Planet.
Well,
there.
if Superman were alive today, that's what he'd be carrying. Acme disinfecting wipes. But in today's news, for you nerds out there, I have some interesting stuff. A chunk, get this, guys. A chunk of stellar shrapnel, that's what it's called, is careening toward the edge of our Milky Way galaxy at almost 2 million miles per hour.
That's breakneck speed.
Can you imagine how fast that is? I cannot. The star is moving so fast that it's almost certainly leaving the galaxy. That's from author J.J. Hermes. He's an associate professor of astronomy at BU, okay? The star is known as LP 4365. It currently lies about 2,000 light years from Earth, and calling it a star may be a bit generous, they say, but listen, it's a hunk of super dense stellar corpse called a white dwarf that is blown apart in a violent supernova explosion after gobbling up too much mass from a companion. Alrighty. And next, Ron, and we're going to post a pic of this, by the way, if you're interested. It's called a sheephead fish. It's got human-like teeth, and it was plucked from a North Carolina coast.
That's too close.
Yeah, last week, some guy who was fishing cast a line off of Jeanette's Pier in Nags Head, North Carolina. He caught a hefty and toothy 9-pound sheep's head fish. Now, the fish, also known as the convict fish for their black and gray horizontally striped body and ability to steal bait on the end of your hook, they have large, beady black eyes and a grin. They say it's an uncanny grin that resembles a human smile. Photos of this fish, they're going to be posted to our Facebook page. And this coastal critter, by the way, was dubbed the sheephead fish for the way its mouth, as I just said, resembles the muzzle of a human or a sheep. This is what they're saying. Now, the diet of this fish, why do they have these teeth?
This is important.
Yeah, no, because this is why they have these stupid teeth to begin with. Mollusks and crustaceans are their diet, and they use their teeth to assist in crushing their prey's tough shells.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's why. I mean, and honestly, the picture of this fish looks like Julia Roberts.
It does.
You know, just kind of like, huh.
Especially when
It's true.
Especially when you snap that jewelry case closed and she goes, huh?
Yeah, well, that was such. Do you know? I really don't like the movie, but I love the memory I have of that movie because my grandpops, my Gampy, took me to see that movie when I was about 19 years old, and he was all dressed up. He had his fedora, he had on his polyester green pants, his polyester mustard shirt, and his hat that didn't match, and he was all decked out, and he was so proud to be taking his granddaughter to see Pretty Woman. That was a great date night, I have to say.
It's a pretty decent movie. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You know.
You know they turned it into a musical. I think it's going to play.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's going to play at PPAC.
Really?
I believe.
All right, well, give it a chance.
Yeah, give it a chance.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Who am I? You know, what do I know? This is what I like to say. I don't know much these days. I used to think I knew a lot. These days, not so much.
So there were fish out there with big choppers.
Yeah.
But the good news is that they don't appear to attack human beings.
No, they just eat stuff that have shells on them.
With them big teethuses.
With the big teeth. Wait till you guys see this. Seriously, it's insane.
You know, I thought it was photoshopped the first time I saw the picture.
Really?
Yeah. But
No.
that fish got more teeth than OJ's mama.
Yeah. Does she have a lot of teeth? Wait, I don't get it.
Get some teethuses
See,
fixed.
he says things, and I'm
OJ's
just kind
mama.
of like, really? I don't get it.
OJ's mama.
Okay.
You know what? You know what people didn't get?
What?
The Olympics.
Oh.
Viewership down 45% from the Rio primetime viewership. Now, what are the reasons?
Yeah. Did you watch it all?
I didn't watch one ticking second
So here
of the Summer Games.
Right. I'm in the restroom this morning, and I'm brushing my teeth, and I thought I had just saw something on the news that said, "Yep, games are over. They had closing ceremonies," and I thought, wow. I remember watching, I would lay in bed and put my radio on and listen to it on the radio because I loved hearing the track and field, the different races. I did not watch 1 second of that, not 1 second this year. I didn't watch because I didn't like the people that were there. For the most part, not all of them, because some of them are really, really awesome, but for the most part.
That's one of the reasons cited here in this particular article is the lack of star power. You know, the fact that, who was the biggest star? You know, Michael Phelps wasn't there. The fastest man in the world, Bolt, he wasn't there. LeBron James didn't play.
Well, that's not why I didn't watch.
Not that I want to watch him.
Yeah, I just didn't like the crop of people that were there, all taking a knee and anti-American. That's
another thing.
You know, this and that. I mean, I just, it's not for me.
Another thing, the impact of politics, which you just mentioned. That turned me off to this whole thing. Time zone displacement. There's always time. Usually there's time. So that shouldn't be a big issue. Rise of streaming. That makes sense. Also, the pandemic, which is, you know, then the lack of audience. You know, that nobody was in the stand, so it doesn't have a vibe, doesn't have a certain excitement. And fractured audiences, all kinds of TV viewership, including sports, down since the start of the pandemic. I think the reason, I mean, I mentioned this before we started to record this, I think the reason most sports viewership is down is because of politics. Because of, you know, athletes taking the knee, athletes turning their back on the flag, and things like that.
Well, 2 questions then for you. I mean, football's not going to be, football was affected last year because of, you know, all of the sit-outs and the opt-outs and all this, but all these guys are back this year. So I think they're going to see their numbers go up. Why does football then seem to do... Baseball, forget about it. I mean, nobody's interested in baseball. Basketball, you saw the finals numbers. They were disgraceful. Nobody's watching the Olympics. I mean, what is it then about football that sustains the audience interest? And do you think, the other question is, that the base of, you know, what we have to watch has grown because streaming really has gotten so much more popular? It's so big. People aren't interested in something like the Olympics because that used to be something really special that we could sink our teeth into because we didn't have 1,000 channels.
Well, that's part of it, streaming and other things like that, yeah. But to address your question about the National Football League, that's still to be answered because they're just now coming back and the preseason begins this weekend. So we'll see. We'll see what their audience numbers look like.
Preseason numbers always blow, though.
No, but I'm talking rolling up to the regular season.
I mean, I can't wait.
We'll see.
I even put on, this is how desperate I am for football. I even put on live from training camp. Only for 15 minutes. I couldn't take much of the commentary.
That's desperation.
Yeah, I know, but I did. I mean, I can't wait.
Before we get into the origin of a specific saying.
A Pacific, yeah.
More things that might be trending here of interest. Apparently, the show must go on for Louis C.K., who's been laying low for the longest time, right? The comedian. But apparently... he's not all that concerned about his sexual harassment scandal. He's hitting the road for a nationwide comedy tour. It's going to come close, too, by the way. It's going to be Madison Square Garden and also play someplace in Boston,
Madison Square. Maybe Cuomo will show up then. 2 guys that don't seem to care about their sexual harassment cases. They just, you know, Cuomo will show up to his event.
Cuomo's not a comedian. Some people might think he is, but he's not a comedian.
He thinks he's a comedian.
Yeah, so Louis C.K. has always argued, Seinfeld argues this, too, that that the whole hashtag, you know, whatever, it has just destroyed comedy. So we'll see how successful.
Cancel culture has destroyed comedy.
Yeah.
Hashtag, you know, it was the hashtag Me Too movement, which I think, you know, this. See, the thing about all these movements, Ron, there's always a lot of truth to it, but then people want to hustle and glam on.
Of course.
And then politicize it or do whatever they want or exploit it. And then it waters down, just like the racial tension in this country, it waters down the real issues that are, you know, bubbling underneath. And we forget about the real important stuff.
It waters down the sincerity of the movement.
I think so.
I will agree with that.
I think so.
Now we move on to...
We do?
We move on to sayings. And what do we want to label this?
Well, this is kind of unusual history.
It is,
I mean,
because it's the origin of sayings.
Yeah.
We go about saying stuff all the time. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. A lot of times we just don't even realize the origin of this stuff. And maybe sometimes when we dig deep and we do get the origin, we'll say, ooh, maybe I shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff.
Well, not with this one. Not with this one.
Good.
Why, when someone, Ron, has been fooled, do we say he's had the wool pull over his eyes?
That's a good one.
Or actually, in today's world,
That's a
his
good
or her, or they, or them, or whatever.
Your eyes.
Your eyes.
You had the wool
Can we
pulled
say-
over your eyes.
Yes, well, in British courts, Ron, both judges and attorneys wear wool wigs, a custom that has originated back in the 18th century. Now, the judge's wig is larger than the lawyer's, so he's often called the big wig. When a crafty lawyer wins at trial against all odds, it's as though the lawyer has blinded the judge with his own wig. It's said that he's just pulled the wool over his eyes.
I like that.
Isn't that interesting?
Now, if I had taken the time to actually think very deeply about it, I still wouldn't have gotten it.
No.
But that's good. So now I know.
So now you know. It's just, and that's a quick little snippet of from the Little Book of Answers for Unusual History. There you go.
That's good. All right. And we'll have several of those as we move forward.
We will.
Because, again, you say these things, and you use them all the time, and you really don't know the origin.
Well, how about this? If you're interested, if you guys have a question regarding anything, whether what saying or where stuff comes from, and you don't feel like doing the legwork, you can send all of your questions and comments related to this podcast to me.
And your
we'll
email,
both get it.
And your
and
email
my
address?
email is jenbrien at rocketmail.com.
Insert here.
Jenbrien, B-R-I-E-N. Okay, Jen Brien. It's all one word.
Insert here.
There.
And also, make sure you check out our weekly column.
Oh, yeah.
Which appears in the RINewsToday.com, Rhode Every Wednesday it drops, and it's Ron and Jen's Great Escape and commentary from us, and stuff that we cover on the podcast, stuff that we get to, or we don't get to, we get around to it. But, check it out. It lands every Wednesday.
That's good.
Yes. And our Facebook page is Ron and Jen's Great Escape. On Facebook.
That's a fun page, I have to say.
Yeah, and you posted my victorious
I did.
dance.
I had to. Ron, come on. I watched it. Before I posted, I watched the whole thing again, and you just got rousing applause at different times during your dance.
When you throw the hat, whenever you throw the hat off, for some reason the crowd goes.
Well, when you were doing your kicks too,
the
kicks,
big.
you got big audience reaction from
and
that.
the one lift that we did a lift.
You did.
Boom.
You practiced a long time for that.
We really did.
I remember you telling me. I'd text you or call you, and you'd say, "Can't talk, gotta go to dance practice."
It's everybody should try to do this once in their existence, is to try to do something that is so outside of your comfort zone that that was like how many thousand? There were like 1,000 people there.
Oh, why? Why should somebody do something outside of their comfort
Because
zone?
it's a challenge. It makes you use.
It grows you.
It also makes you use parts up here that you have maybe been dormant for the longest time. So, challenge yourself. I think there were like 600 people in attendance that night at Rhodes on the Patuxent. It felt like 6,000 all looking at you.
Yeah.
So once in your life, try to do something a little bit out of your comfort zone, and you'll greatly benefit.
Maybe I'll get you to go skydiving.
No, I've already done my thing.
I
got to ask you this. Ask you this because when this popped up in the news, Mike Richards, not Michael Richards, not the guy from Seinfeld. Mike Richards, who's apparently he was the executive producer of Jeopardy for years on end. Apparently, he's the front runner now, out of nowhere, to become the new host and replace the God rest Alex Trebek. And I got to ask you this: do you think that all of these guest appearances and guest hosts and this, do you think that was just a scam, and they knew they were going to make this guy the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and here's why: because back when I was part of the industry, here's how this would go: the company, if they had a big job opening, whether it be a day part or a producer or whatever, they would list it. They pretty much knew they had to list it to cover their butts. So they pretty much knew that they would be going in-house for the most part. So I would say 80% of the time they knew who they had in their sights. But they had to open it up because by law, they had no choice. And so these guys, I think they thought, well, it would look great if we don't pick one of our own right away. We'll give everybody an opportunity. But people are ticked about this.
They really are.
They don't
pissed.
know who this guy is.
Right.
They don't care to know who this guy is. The inside people know who this guy is, and they think he's great. But they love LeVar Burton and what's her face? How do you say her name? Mayim. She was at Balak, or
she was the
she was in
the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, she was very good.
Yeah, Farrah Amy Fowler. I loved her. And they said she was terrific. I probably just destroyed her name, and I'm sorry about that.
I can't pronounce her name either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but this guy, I'm not. Whatever.
Here's the thing about the decision.
I think that's nasty. I think that's a nasty way to do things.
First of all, you pissed off all your primary viewers because you duped them, basically. You suckered them in.
That's right.
Right? And you told them that their opinion mattered.
And it didn't.
And it didn't. All right? So you just crapped all over your core audience. And secondly, where's the connection? I mean, Mike Richards. Oh, yeah, that guy. He's great. There's no connection.
No, there isn't.
You just lost a beloved individual with Alex Trebek, who hosted it for eons, and the audience made a connection with him. They watched Jeopardy as much for the fun and the thrill of participation in the game show as they did to see Alex Trebek because they loved the way he hosted the show.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
No, this is gaslighting. So if you guys ever, were interested in the term gaslighting but really never understood it, what they're doing is gaslighting the audience and trying to say, well, yeah, it was just, it just seemed like, and we didn't know, and no, all lies.
Well, it might not matter. It might be the subject is moot. Because apparently this guy Richards has a little bit of a clouded past.
Really?
Yeah, with some charges of possible pregnancy discrimination lawsuits by former models on The Price is Right, where he was the producer prior.
Don't mess with those ladies.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
My God.
No.
Those ladies are serious.
Bob Barker found that out.
Yeah.
So maybe this guy. But right now it doesn't seem as though whoever produces this show, Sony, it's Sony TV that produces. But I think they duped the audience. I really do. And I think they suckered them in. And what do you call it? Gaslighting.
Yeah. It's pure gaslighting. Yeah. That is just awesome.
Not good.
And they think that the thing is that people think that other people are so stupid, and people aren't stupid. There are a lot of people that are stupid, but the majority of people just pretty much don't care. And then whatever powers that be out there, they diagnose that as stupidity. It's not. It's just apathy, and that's completely different.
Now, they pulled a fast one on their audience, and that's not cool. Let us get into some food news.
Yeah.
Because you carry a backpack with you all the time.
I do.
And inside that little backpack, all kinds of goodies.
Snacky poos.
Yeah, you're into snacks big time.
Yeah. Well, is there anything better than a really good snack? You might ask.
Well, I can list a few things.
Well, some people would agree with you. Well, for a lot of people, though, who don't agree with you, Ron, the answer is, you know what? They need a snack. And a new survey finds that Americans love snacking so much that 69% of people bring a treat with them. Is Hazel here?
Nope, she went for a
good.
walk.
That they bring a treat with them at all times. I'm definitely one of those people. I travel with gummy bears. 51% of Americans say they fill up on snack food instead of a balanced meal at least 3 times a week. That I don't do. And 60% of people prefer either a salty or sugar-filled snack. Which are you? Salty or sugar?
Both.
Yeah, so am I. I don't know. That's so funny. What are the most popular snacks, Ron? Chips is number 1, then chocolate, just all brands of candy, number 3, crackers, pastries, cookies, popcorn, and nuts. And of course, snacks don't necessarily have to be unhealthy. They finish this up by saying that you can have carrot sticks and celery with peanut butter and so on.
When's the last time you had a carrot stick in your backpack? I'm just curious.
Never.
Oh, right.
No, never. And finally today, before we get to Lady of Spain, M&M is adding a new and permanent flavor to the case of characters that they have. The delicious new offering combines 2 beloved treats for a special take on a timeless favorite. They say this is the M&M Crunchy Cookie. It features a great tasting crunchy cookie center, covered in delicious milk chocolate, all wrapped in the colorful, iconic M&M shell. So, cookie M&Ms. Isn't that fun? You can throw that in with the mystery Pop-Tart that I have yet to bring in for us to eat.
You know why? Because they're trying to scam you. They make you buy like 30 of them.
I don't want a box of 50. I just want 8, and I can't find a small box.
You know why? Because you're not going to find...
Wow, that's a scary Elvis. Nah, Elvis. With our city wipes.
That is Elvis, zombie Elvis.
That's scary. That's Elvis on the toilet after he perished.
Zombie Elvis. Elvis. All right.
Is that it?
Yes. If you want to get in touch with us, it's Jen Brien at rocketmailcom. We'll put that back up there. And also check out our Facebook page. What are you going to put up there? They're going to put the fish with the big teethuses.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to see this.
Still think it's shot. I think it's Photoshop.
I know that some guys are going to write, "Oh, that's like a blind date I went on once." You know, I mean, it's just going to be inevitable.
All
well,
right.
I guess that wraps up another fine podcast,
That's
Ron.
it. Be good to each other.
Try.
Be kind.
Yes, try.
And be kind, rewind. Remember they used to say that?
Yeah.
You'll find a smile will go a long, long way.